Why does one small unfinished task follow you everywhere? You sit down to relax, but suddenly your brain reminds you. The email you did not answer. The dish still sitting in the sink. The message you forgot to send. The small task you said you would do later. And now, even when you are not working, your mind is still busy. That uncomfortable feeling is not always laziness. It is not always lack of discipline. Sometimes, it is your brain refusing to close the loop. Because unfinished tasks do not disappear. They stay active. They whisper in the background. They steal a piece of your attention. And slowly, they turn your peace into mental noise. Every unfinished task becomes a mental ghost, and until you deal with it, it keeps haunting your brain. There is a psychological idea called the Zeigarnik Effect. It suggests that your brain tends to hold on to unfinished or interrupted tasks more than completed ones. Why? Because completion gives the brain closure. But unfinished work creates mental tension. Your mind keeps saying, "Remember this. Don't forget that. You still need to finish." So even if the task is small, your brain treats it like an open file, an open tab, an unfinished program running in the background. This is why a half-written email can bother you more than 10 finished tasks. This is why one small chore can feel heavier than it should. This is why your brain keeps returning to what is incomplete. Your brain hates open loops. And the more open loops you carry, the heavier your mind becomes. Most people think they are tired because they work too much. But sometimes, you are tired because your brain is carrying too much. Too many unfinished tasks. Too many small reminders. Too many things left unresolved. Imagine your mind like a browser with 50 tabs open. One tab is an email. One tab is a bill. One tab is a half-read article. One tab is a promise you made. One tab is a decision you keep avoiding. Even when you are not looking at them, they are still consuming energy. Each one becomes a background process, and like apps running on a phone, they drain your mental battery. You may not see them, but you feel them. You feel them as stress, as distraction, as anxiety, as that strange heaviness at the end of the day. You are not only managing time, you are managing mental bandwidth, and every open loop takes a piece of it. For your ancestors, open loops were useful. Find food, avoid danger, protect shelter, remember the path home. The brain needed unfinished business to stay alive. But today, your brain is not tracking one danger. It is tracking everything. Emails, messages, notifications, bills, appointments, half-read articles, unfinished videos, open browser tabs, ideas you never wrote down, goals you keep postponing. Your brain was built for survival, but modern life gives it infinite unfinished loops. And every notification creates a new one. Every unread message creates a new one. Every task you delay creates another one. That is why you can do nothing all day and still feel exhausted. Your brain was not designed to carry endless, unfinished loops. So the solution is not to remember more. The solution is to close more. This is how pseudo-productivity begins. You stay busy all day, answering small messages, opening new tabs, checking reminders, touching 10 different tasks, but finishing none of them. You feel active. You feel occupied. You feel like you are doing something, but nothing is closed. And because nothing is closed, your brain never feels free. You were busy, but you were not relieved. Because productivity is not movement. Productivity is not touching everything. Productivity is not jumping from one task to another. Productivity is closure. A finished task gives your brain peace. An unfinished task keeps asking for attention. So if your day is full of movement, but empty of completion, your brain will still feel trapped. Here is the first brain hack. Write it down. Not because paper is magic, but because your brain needs proof that the task is captured. When a task stays only in your head, your brain keeps reminding you, again and again and again. But when you write it down clearly, you tell your brain, this is not forgotten. This is stored. This will be handled. That creates mental relief. So do not write vague tasks like, work on project. Write the next action. Write the first paragraph. Send the email. Wash the dishes after dinner. Call the bank tomorrow. Your brain does not need everything finished immediately. It needs everything captured clearly. A task in your head becomes pressure. A task on paper becomes a plan. But writing it down is not enough, because a task without a time still feels alive. So give it a time. Do not write, reply to email. Write, tomorrow at 10 o'clock, reply to email. Do not write, clean room. Write, tonight after dinner, clean room for 10 minutes. Do not write, start workout. Write, Monday, 7 o'clock, gym. This is powerful because the brain stops asking, when? It stops trying to remind you randomly. It stops throwing the task at you while you are trying to rest. Because now, the loop has a place. It has a time. It has a next step. A task without a plan becomes anxiety. A task with a time becomes control. If it matters, schedule it. But some loops should not be completed. They should be killed. This is where most people fail. They keep tasks alive that no longer matter. Old ideas, dead projects, unnecessary obligations. Things they said yes to because they felt guilty. Things they keep carrying because they are afraid to quit. But not every task deserves your energy. Some tasks need action. Some tasks need scheduling. And some tasks need deletion. This is called strategic quitting. You look at the task and ask, does this still matter? Is this worth my energy? Will this move my life forward? If the answer is no, delete it, cancel it, archive it, let it die. An unfinished task drains you. A deleted task frees you. Sometimes peace does not come from finishing everything. Sometimes peace comes from deciding what no longer deserves your mind. At the end of the day, your brain needs a closing signal. Without one, work follows you into the night. So create a simple shutdown ritual. Before you stop working, write 3 things. What is unfinished? What is the next action? When will I do it? That is it. You are not finishing everything. You are closing the loop mentally. You are telling your brain, this is handled. Not now. Tomorrow. This is how you stop the 2 a.m. panic. This is how you stop relaxing with guilt. This is how you protect your mental peace. Because your brain does not relax when everything is floating. It relaxes when everything has a place. Close the loop, or the loop will control you. So the next time your mind feels heavy, do not just ask, how do I get more motivated? Ask, what loops are still open? What task is shouting in the background? What decision are you avoiding? What promise is still unfinished? What ghost is stealing your focus? Then do one of 3 things. Finish it, schedule it, or delete it. Because peace is not only created by doing more. Peace is created by carrying less. Your brain hates open loops. Your focus is your mental currency. Stop letting unfinished tasks steal it. Write it down. Give it a time. Delete what no longer matters. And at the end of the day, shut the system down. Because when you close the loop, you reclaim your mind. Master your mind. Protect your peace.